a rant. Why they don't want you to be happy. Now, I've been building up to this rant for quite some time now, and particularly with what's going on in this crazy world, I've decided to come out with this very important rant. Now, even though happiness is something that everybody wants for themselves, their family, their friends, for everyone, those that rule us don't want us to be happy. No, 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 no. And in fact, they intentionally suppress our happiness. Now, I know that comes across as a pretty bold statement, because it is a bold statement. But hear me out, because I am going to give you evidence of where happiness is intentionally suppressed. I am going to give you 3 reasons why your happiness is intentionally suppressed. And I'm going to talk about the biggest fear that those who intentionally suppress your happiness have. And then I'm going to finish up with good news and what you can do about it. So let's get on with it. Where is happiness suppressed? Well, I'm going to give you 3 places. The first place where happiness is suppressed is in schools. Yes. If happiness was considered important by those that rule us, we would be taught the skill of happiness, particularly in schools. Because yes, happiness is actually a skill that you can learn and acquire. And I call acquiring happiness as a superpower. So if happiness is not taught in schools, then either happiness is not considered important enough by those who decide what we are going to be taught in school, or maybe they don't want you to have happiness as a skill, because they know that when you do, you will awaken to how powerful you are. So personally, I think it's the latter reason. They don't want you to realize and awaken to your own power. So that's the first place, in schools. The second place, number 2, is in self-education. Now, that's the second place where happiness is suppressed. Now, just suppose you want to go and learn about, educate yourself and research a category, right? Like you want to research happiness. Now, it's interesting to note that there is not a major category for happiness. Well, I haven't managed to find it anywhere. And really, is there a minor category for happiness either? Have a look on Amazon, try podcasts, YouTube, Facebook. I recently set up my podcast on Spotify. The closest category I came to happiness was lifestyle and health. So then I thought, maybe in the subcategory. So the closest subcategory I came was health and wellness. There was also health and fitness and self-help, but no main category or subcategory for the most important topic of happiness. Again, I think it's deliberate. The powers that be don't want you to have happiness as a skill, because they don't want you to awaken to and realize your powers. The third place where happiness is suppressed is in mainstream media. Have you noticed that mainstream media absolutely thrives on making you fearful and anxious? Fear. Have you just noticed all those fear-inducing headlines? Oh my goodness. Some call it fear porn. mainstream media is absolutely determined to keep us all in this state of fear. So if you wake up and you think, oh, I really want to feel stressed today and fearful and anxious, well then just turn on mainstream media and you'll get a big dose coming straight at you. No problem at all. It won't take very long. They're very good at it. So mainstream media definitely does not want us to be happy. I could go on and on about where happiness is intentionally suppressed, but let's move on instead to the big question of why is happiness suppressed? I mean, why? So I'll go over three reasons. Number one, unhappy people are easy to control. In a nutshell, when you are unhappy, when you're living in fear, when you're anxious and stressed out, you can be easily manipulated, controlled, and suppressed by those who are generating that fear. And one of the reasons for this is that when you are in that state of fear and anxiety, your ability to think critically is reduced. Your whole thinking guard is right down. I mean, it's been known by the powers that be for ages and ages that a fearful population is just so much easier to control than a fearless one. So unhappy people, basically in a nutshell, easy to manipulate and control. So that was reason number one of why happiness is suppressed. Reason number two for suppressing happiness is unhappiness makes a lot of money, and I mean a lot of money for pharma. Now, when you are in a state of fear, stressed, anxious, your body automatically goes into survival mode. And when it goes into survival mode, it switches off your health systems. It switches off your immune system, your growth and repair system, your natural healing systems, all switched off when your body is stressed out and you're in that survival mode. Now, if you are in survival mode, you're in that state of stress and anxiety for too long, you are going to have health issues because your health systems are switched off. And when you have health issues, you seek medical attention. 90% plus of visits to doctors are related to stress-related illnesses. In other words, are as a result of having your health system switched off. So the pharmaceutical industry makes over $1 billion a year, and it's growing. They make over $1 billion a year as a result of you being stressed out most of the time. So ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching. Or money, money, money. I mean, it's huge. Your being stressed is worth so much money. It's big bucks. So pharma has a very big interest in keeping you stressed out, not happy and sick because your immune system, your healing systems, your growth and repair systems are switched off. Now, by the way, pharma are very big sponsors of mainstream media, of the fear-mongering mainstream media. So can you see how it all kind of just fits together nicely? Or not nicely, really. So moving on, what is the third reason for suppressing happiness? Well, the third reason is that the happiness stuff narrative is very profitable. There is a lot of money to be made by people thinking they have to buy stuff, something from outside to be happy. Like a new phone, a new dress, a new car, a bigger house, just more stuff. So think about it. Mainstream media have captured your attention with fear, by using fear, and then an advertisement suddenly just pops up as the savior, like buy this stuff and you'll be happy, or buy this stuff and you'll look cool and everybody will like you, and you deserve this stuff, and don't worry if this stuff doesn't make you happy, don't worry, we've got even more stuff for you to buy. So there's big bucks and stuff, and there's some very big profitable stuff stores. I mean, take Amazon for example. Their online store of stuff was over 163 billion with a B in 2019-20. So there's lots of dollars to be made in stuff if you think happiness can be bought by buying stuff. So if you put all those three reasons together about why happiness is intentionally suppressed, it's basically, if you are fearful and unhappy, it's easier to manipulate and control you. It's easier to make you sick, which is good for pharma. And it's easier to spin and sell you the happiness stuff narrative. I mean, it's really good for companies like Amazon. Conversely, if you are happy, it's harder to manipulate and control you. You're healthier, and you realize that stuff does not make you happy, and you realize that you're awesome just as you are. So now let's talk about the biggest fear of those who are intentionally suppressing your happiness. Their biggest fear is that you wake up to, that you realize your own power and how amazing you are. Their biggest fear is that you wake up, that you access your inner wisdom, inner guidance, your creativity, that you connect to all that there is, that you connect to the universal intelligence out there where everything is possible, that you connect to the quantum field. That is scary for them, because you're also able to access your other superpowers when you're happy. Superpowers like manifesting superpowers, intuition superpowers, healing superpowers. Oh my goodness, it's so wonderful. So of course they are afraid that you are going to wake up to these powers, to your powers. They are afraid that you will wake up to happiness being the key to unlock these powers, your powers. So they are afraid they will lose control of you and lose lots and lots of money. Ka-ching. So the good news, there is good news. I love having good news. I always like to finish on good news. Well, the good news is happiness is a skill that you can learn and acquire. And I call acquiring that skill, acquiring happiness as a superpower. And when you have happiness as a superpower, you are in the driver's seat with generating happy emotions. And when you have happiness as your superpower, you unlock your power, your greatness. You have the key to a whole new world that is just there waiting for you. So I encourage you to acquire happiness as a superpower sooner rather than later. And as the first step, I highly recommend you download my Happiness SuperPower Roadmap, and you can find it at happinesssuperpowerroadmap.com. That's happinesssuperpowerroadmap.com. Now, just before my darling husband Mike died from brain cancer, I asked him what he would like me to say for him at his funeral. And it was just 3 words. Just do it. So in Mike's words, just do it. Acquire happiness as your superpower. Bye.